Hi, I'm Brian Turford, and I'm going to be your professor for Info 3112 this semester. I wanted to provide a quick introduction for myself, and in a couple of seconds, I will go through a more formal introduction for the course. I have about 40 years of information technology experience. I've worked on many projects, some large, some small, and fortunately, most of them successful. But there were a few that, I think we could have done a better job. What we have learned, though, over those years is we've found ways to create predictable success. And I think that's important. And predictable success through various techniques and methodologies. So we're going to focus on that in the first half of this course. So we're going to spend time on the first couple of weeks and talk about best practices. And hopefully you'll be able to learn them and apply them to a project that we're going to be working on later in the term. So I'm excited about this semester. I hope you guys are too. And let's go ahead and do our formal orientation.
You've learned a lot of development techniques in the various courses here at Fanshawe. This course provides an opportunity for you to apply what you've learned to build a complete solution. Up until this point, we've taught you a lot about building software, but we haven't spent much time talking about project management processes and methods. And so we're going to look at what's been successful in the industry and what industry has adopted and apply them here for the development of this solution. So you are going to learn a lot about methodologies and basically how you should approach projects. You are going to be working in project teams. That's a must for this course. In industry, we generally work with project teams, so we're going to do that in this course. We're going to be using tools that is used in industry. So these are going to be things that you will see in the workplace. You're going to get some practical experience developing software as a team, as I've mentioned, using a formal systems development lifecycle approach, an SDLC. This is actually the first in a series of 2 courses. So you're going to get the first one here in 5th semester, and you'll get your next course in 6th semester. The solutions that you develop as part of these 2 courses can be used as part of your portfolio to help you secure employment after graduation. I can tell you from experience, the most difficult job to get in IT is the first one. This is an online course, so all the instructions that you need to be successful in the course are contained in the content section on FOL. As mentioned, you're going to be working in a group of 3, and this is mandatory. In industry, we work in groups. You're going to work in groups. I will tell you, though, you should try and partner with team members in the same section because it'll make it easier for both you, the student, and the professor. I'd also suggest that as a team, you agree on the time and place to meet each week to work together. So even though this is an online course, I've found that the most successful project teams are the ones that carve out a specific time slot each week. They don't have to physically be in the same room, although that might be helpful. But I think it's just important to make sure that you have a consistent use of your time. You are required to work at least 3 hours per student per week on this course. So you can't say, well, I'm studying for midterms. I'm going to put off the work from this course till next week. That doesn't cut it. That's not acceptable. I've run this course in the past, and that's been the biggest downfall, is students just go ahead and leave the work for later in the semester, and it rarely works out. So I'm going to hold you accountable each week to keep moving the ball forward and keep getting the product built. And so I'll be looking for that in particular. You will be requested at times to meet with me, and we will be doing that online. We do have a discussion board, which you can post questions, but from time to time, if I have questions about your project and I want to meet with you, I will schedule a time online for us to meet. You will have to have a working microphone and ideally a headset or some earbuds, something so you can listen in order to participate in those discussions. But I will tell you, I work with a lot of different project teams every week, and there isn't a day that goes by that I'm not doing some type of an online meeting or conference. I want to review the course plan with you so you know what's going to be coming up for this term. There's actually 2 parts to this course. The first part of the course focuses on learning a development methodology. How should you approach building systems? And the second part of the course, we're actually going to work in teams to build an actual product. So in week 1, we're going to discuss a methodologies overview and learn a particular methodology known as Scrum. In weeks 2 and 3, we're going to look at how do you capture the requirements for any system. What's the big idea? What are you trying to achieve? And ultimately, what will the system do for you? In week 4, we'll talk about how do we estimate the amount of time it's going to take and the cost of a system. And then in week 5, we're going to talk about how do we actually create a very detailed plan in which to build the system from. So that's kind of the first half of the course. And then starting in week 6, we're actually going to work on a project. For this term, I am going to give you the requirements for the project. You're not able to select a project of your choosing, so I just wanted to kind of get that out of the way. So just keep that in mind that we're going to be working on something that I'm asking you to create. So in week 6, we're going to have a kickoff. In weeks 7 through 12, we're actually going to be building the software. And then in the last 2 weeks of the course, we'll do some last-minute testing and hopefully create a video to demonstrate your new software. So what can you expect from me? Well, I don't have fixed office hours. I have a very flexible meeting schedule. So the beauty of that is if you want to meet on a Tuesday night at 11 p.m., no problem, just send me an email. I'm happy to do it. As I've mentioned that the bulk of the meetings are going to be online using a product called Zoom. And I will go ahead and I'll give you all the instructions necessary at that time, get connected to Zoom, and to facilitate the online conference. As mentioned, you will need a working microphone, and you need to be able to hear me as well. So earbuds or headphones would be great. Please post your questions to the discussion board on FOL. You should subscribe to the discussion board at the beginning of the course so that you're going to receive an automatic notification when any student posts a question and when I post a response. I'm not going to answer any course-related questions via email. And trust me, students will try to do this. They'll send me emails religiously at the beginning of the course, but I'm not going to answer them. At the end of the day, I want you to put the question on the discussion board. And why do I want you to do that? Well, I want everyone to see our discussion. I don't want a question to be posed and for one individual to have the answer to that question. I want all students to see all questions and all responses. And don't worry about posting these questions. It's important. Every students have questions within this kind of a course. So please don't be embarrassed. Every question that I've seen hit the discussion board has been worthwhile at the end of the day. So if you have any question at all, please don't hesitate to post. That would be great. So I'm not saying don't email me. If you have a concern of a personal nature, or if you've got some information you don't want to disclose to the class, fine, no problem. If you need to see me, so if you'd like to request a meeting, ideally online, but if needed in person, please send me an email. But questions about projects, assignments, the methodology, estimating, they should all go into the discussion board. As usual, my contact information is contained within my FOL page, and I guarantee that I will respond within a maximum of 24 hours. I will try and put all announcements onto FOL as well, so within the news section of the course, and I will probably follow up with some reminder emails as well. You deserve a quick response from me, and I guarantee that I will do that. So what do I expect from you? Well, the biggest thing for me is delivering your documents on time, and that seems to be a real issue. So you're going to be asked for a number of things throughout the course, and I just want to make sure that you get to those delivery dates correct. Whether it's a vision document, cost estimates, your plans, if I ask you for a copy of your code, I just want to make sure that you deliver it on time. And that's incredibly important to employers and incredibly important to me as well. In addition, what I expect from you is to work at least 3 hours per week on this course. You cannot put off any time. I've already mentioned this. You can't go, well, it's been a really busy week. I don't have time between work and school. No way, it doesn't cut it. Each and every week, you've got to continue pushing the ball forward. Keep working in this course, a minimum of 3 hours, each of you. ask for assistance as needed. So if you're having problems with team members, if you've got a technical issue related to your project, every team is different. So if you have questions or concerns, get a hold of me. I'm always happy to hear from you. Keep your group updated, and me ideally, as early as possible if you can't meet your obligations. So there may be some situations that come along where you're not going to be able to live up to the expectations that I nor your team might have of you. So if you're going to miss the target, if there's going to be an issue of some type, please let us know early. And ultimately, you want to create an original software product. If you're going to be using any kind of libraries, frameworks, you need to make sure it's documented and credited to those sources. Any non-original material that is not credited within this course and these programs that you're developing will be considered plagiarism. So a plagiarized set of code will result in a failure for the entire group for the course. So I don't want to see that happen. So just make sure that anytime you're using anything that you did not personally create, that you've identified the source and given the appropriate notifications that you actually where the source came from and that you're using it as part of your product. Please feel free to post any questions about the course at the discussion board. As I've mentioned, I'll get back quickly. Please subscribe to the board. If you want to schedule some time with me personally, send it in an email. And at the end of the day, I think we're going to have a very successful semester together.
Well, thanks for listening today. I'm looking forward to working with you, as I've already mentioned, and I think this is going to be a great semester. So let's get started. Let's get into a group as quickly as possible. Start working through material, and if you have questions or concern, please use the discussion board on FOL. I sure hope you guys have a great day, and welcome back. Talk to you later.